I think I can confidently say that Thorpe Park is my favourite theme park in the UK, and it has some fantastic roller coasters and attractions that really set it apart from the rest of the crowd. And that is why today I'm going to let you know my top 10 favourite rides and attractions at Thorpe Park. And remember, these are my opinions. These are my opinions. You can have your own. So get ready, because I'm about to tell you my top 10 favourite rides at Thorpe Park. So in at number 10, we have Tidal Wave. Now, this might come as a shock to you. It came as a shock to me when I was looking at all the rides. I actually really like Tidal Wave. I think it's one of them rides where you can't experience something like that pretty much anywhere else in the UK. I mean, I know there's that one in Wales, in Oakwood. That's not working anymore. Like a normal log flume, you can't really find them anymore. Tiger Rock doesn't get you wet at all, and I'm not even joking. You can come off that dry as a bone. But I really think that Tidal Wave is a special ride, and I'm not gonna lie, it's an eyesore in the park, but it's a good eyesore because you get to see people get their day ruined by a massive wave. No, but in all seriousness, this would be higher up my list if it didn't leave you wet for about 4 years after you come off. But it's a really fun ride, and I only really do it once a year, but when I do it, it's an experience. So yeah, number 10, Tidal Wave at Thorpe Park. Fun ride. I just don't go on it that much, but it's a good ride. In at number 9, we have Ghost Train. Used to be Darren Brown's Ghost Train.
My Ghost.
Not anymore, which is why I called it that. But I know this one's pretty controversial. I know not a lot of people like Ghost Train. I don't mind it. I think it's really good. I mean, I love live experiences anyway, so that's definitely going to put it a bit higher for me. But compared to what it used to be, I'm very happy that they actually upgraded it and got rid of the VR. Because let's be honest, the VR was a bit awful. It was a bit crap. I remember the very first time I went on Darren Brown's Ghost Train, the VR broke down for about 15 minutes, and I was just stuck there looking at a screen, and they were screaming in my ear, and it wasn't great. It wasn't very pleasant, but I mean, I do think it's a big upgrade, and I do think it's a lot better than what it was before. But it's not the best ever, but I don't think it's trying to be. Basically, if you don't know what Ghost Train is, it's pretty much a walkthrough experience. It's like a show, and you get on a train, it goes wrong, and you have actors running up and down the train, and then you get off at a platform, you go into like a crypt, and then you come out, get back on the train, and then there's a big finale ending, which I do really like. I think the ending is good fun, and I think it's a lot better than the ending that was on Darren Brown. But that being said, it's not the best ride at the park, but it's definitely up there at number 9. In at number 8, we have our first roller coaster of the list. It is Walking Dead the ride. Now, I really like Walking Dead the ride. I love the whole theme. I think the theming works really well with the ride, especially that little mazy corridors before you get onto the ride. I think that's great fun, and especially in the dark, and you get everyone screaming and walking fast, not running. No running, please. But yeah, even before you get on the ride, you feel immersed into the environment, and then you get on the ride. The ride is nothing crazy special. I mean, the effects are all right, the lights are pretty decent, and then you get to the brake run and you do the stopping and starting effect. That is so cool. Why is that not on other roller coasters? Because that is so clever. And then you come off the ride, and if you're there on a good day, you get actors coming out and chasing you. And I think that you don't get that on other roller coasters in the UK. So I think Walking Dead the ride, number 8. It's great. Definitely a lot better with actors, but you never know if they're going to be there. But yeah, Walking Dead. Okay, I'm moving on to number 7, which I have forgotten on my list. Okay, this one might get me cancelled. We have Saw the Ride. Now, I'm sorry. Now, I do really like Saw the Ride, and it does pain me a little bit to put it as low down as I've put it. But for me, the only standout bits is the indoor section, which is great. That first drop always gets me, no matter... I mean, I know it's coming. I've been on it before. Yeah, the indoor bit and the first drop is like the only bit that stands out to me, really. If it wasn't so rough, I would love it a lot more. And I know people say it's not rough, but it is rough. Let's face the facts. It is really rough, and I don't know. I used to listen to people talk about how they got headaches off the ride, and I used to think, how are you getting a headache off a roller coaster? I know now. But the theming's great. The queue line, not so much. If it's above half an hour, waiting in that queue line around the back feels like you're taking out a mortgage and setting up a family. It takes so long. But yeah, I mean, I might do another top 10 next year, and Saw the Ride might be above 5, but for now, I'm sorry, but Saw the Ride is at number 7. It's really short as well. A bit like me. Number 6 is a ride I was genuinely terrified to go on until I went on it last year, and that is Rush. I think a lot of other people share this fear of Rush. It's a random fear, because at the end of the day, it's a massive swing, and who doesn't want to go on that? I was worried it was going to feel like a pirate ship. You get that weird belly feeling on a pirate ship. It doesn't feel anything like that. It feels... I would rather go on Rush than a pirate ship. If I was nervous, I would rather go on Rush, which is crazy. I never thought I'd say that, but yeah, I love Rush so much. You get a great view of the park. Also, when you're going up there, I do wish it was a bit longer. That's the only thing. That's a common theme. Even on a quiet day at the park, you get like 3 swings at max height and then you're back down. But apart from that, I love Rush. I love Rush, and it's pretty much the only flat ride at the park that I would do more than once. So moving in to the top 5, we have Colossus. Stop booing at me. Stop booing at me. Now, I know everyone's different, but for some reason, I have never got a headache when I came off Colossus. And I think, like, genuinely, if you keep your head forward, and I'm talking like you become a pigeon and you stick your neck forward, I think you're fine. I think, yes, it's a bit awkward on the shoulders and your legs when you get in the ride, but when you're going round, you're not that fussed about it, unless you're probably like 6'3", and then I understand that your legs might be in pain. But I just think you get everything on that ride. 10 loops, 10 inversions. Sorry. I think it's great. And I love Colossus. I've always loved it. I always think it looks great in the park. I am worried about its future. Is it coming near the end? Maybe. I mean, they've repainted it, so probably not. Yeah, keep your head forward, and I think you'll be fine. It's worked for me, and I'm going to continue doing it. I will say, near the front is a lot better. It's a lot smoother at the front, but if I can only get near the back, it's not the end of the world. Keep your head forward and you'll be fine. But yeah, I do think Colossus is a great ride. It's long as well. If Saw the ride was longer, it would probably overtake Colossus, but Colossus is so long and it's so worth it, and it's great. It's one of them rides where you come off thinking, whew, I love that about the ride. So that's why it's in number 5. In at number 4, we have Nemesis Inferno. Now, Nemesis Inferno will always be special to me because that was my first ever upside down roller coaster, and it's not that high on their list because of that reason. It's just a great ride. I've pretty much done it on every seat. The back is quite intense and the front is great because you're at the front of a roller coaster. I will say though, every time I come off the ride, you do get a little bit tingly in your feet and your brain. You get a little bit lightheaded, and I know that's just not me, because when we go on it with a big group, everyone in the group feels like that way. But in my opinion, I think that's a sign of a good ride. I think if it's quite intense, it's great. It's fast, it's whippy, it is quite compact, and you don't get the best views of the park, but I think who's going on a roller coaster to look at the views? Me, sometimes. I don't really know what else to say about Inferno. And the whole Nemesis Inferno versus Nemesis debate, I think I have my answer. Nemesis at Alton Towers is a lot better. But yeah, Nemesis Inferno, number 4. It's a good fun ride. I love the little pre-lift section as well. And if it's a hot day and you've got the mist on, oh my god, it's so good. And yeah, I love it. It's great. What else do I need to say? Moving on to number 3, my top 3 rides at Thorpe Park. Now this one might annoy some of you. I've said that about everything on the list. But in at number 3, we have Stealth. Stealth is one of them rides where I don't think you will ever get used to that feeling of getting launched to 80 miles an hour in about a second. Hang on, I have a prop. There we go. Stealth pillow. I can hold that while I'm talking. There's a couple rides in the world where I don't think I'll get used to a feeling, which is what I want. I don't want to get bored of a ride. I think Tower of Terror, I'll never get used to that feeling. And Stealth, I'll never get used to that feeling. I think Stealth is definitely the most intense ride at the park, apart from Detonator, and I haven't done Detonator, so don't come at me, I'm too scared of it. But again, the only way it would be higher on this list is if it was a bit longer. That's the only problem, and I know they can't do a lot with it unless they take out Tidal Wave, which they might do. I think Stealth is great. I love the Amity theme as well. I don't know what else to say. I haven't done Front Row yet. I need to do Front Row, because I feel like if I do Front Row, that might hit it up to number 2, but until then, it's at number 3, and Stealth is a great ride. Get rid of that now. As we're moving on to number 2, my second favourite ride at Thorpe Park, you can probably guess what it is Swarm. Oh my gosh, Swarm is amazing. I think Swarm has a perfect balance of relaxing and intense, and I never thought you'd be able to say that about roller coaster, but I just did. The restraints are so comfortable. I really like how they don't lock the vest part anymore when you're going on the ride, because before they used to lock it before you went around the whole layout, but now you're free as a bird and you feel like a bird on that ride. It is unreal. Again, the only problem is it's a bit short, but it's not as short as Saw. I don't actually know the timing, but it doesn't feel as short as Saw. I love Swarm. It's one of them rides where you can just ride it over and over again, and every seat feels a bit different, and especially because you've got the 2 different sides. It's a different ride experience altogether. So Swarm, oh god, is my second favourite ride at Thorpe Park. I love the theming as well. Theming is great. The apocalyptic theme is fantastic, and the marketing, if you can remember the marketing for that ride, it was great. Yeah, that's why Swarm is my number 2. But moving on to number 1, I think you might have guessed it by now. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more top 10s like this. I can do one about Alton Towers, which is a tiny theme park. I don't know if you've heard of that park before, but I think you've guessed it by now. My favourite ride at Thorpe Park is Hyperia. Oh my gosh. I mean, what can you say about Hyperia? I was absolutely bricking it on opening day, the first time we went on it, and we got the very back row, and we knew that before we got on that, this was about to be an insane, intense experience, and it was, but it was absolutely insane. Since then, I've done a front row on the ride, and front row is completely different. I think I prefer front row a lot more than back row. I mean, back row is intense, but front row is like a different gravy, some people might say. It's the best roller coaster in the UK by far, and it's the best roller coaster I've done, because I've not done that many around the world, but that ride is special, especially going to it on opening day. That was an experience that I'll never forget. Queuing up 5 hours. Crazy. Let's beat down the elephant in the room. The theming is not ideal. It could be a lot better themed. It's definitely a lot more stylized than it is themed, but going forward, if they are going to put a new flat ride in the area, then I think we could see a theming improvement. But Hyperia is definitely an amazing ride, and I wish it was like a 30-minute queue so I can just go on it over and over again. The soundtrack is amazing. I haven't really talked about other rides music, but the Hyperia soundtrack is brilliant, and it's on Spotify. If only it was on vinyl. Get it on vinyl, Thorpe Park. Do it. Get it on vinyl. Thorpe Park. There we go. There is my top 10 rides at Thorpe Park. Let me know what you think down below. Don't shout at me, please. Yeah, let me know what you think of my list, and let me know if you want to see more top 10s in the future. I can do more. I can do Alton Towers. I can do Portland Park. And I can do M&Ds in Scotland. But you forgot about that theme park. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you on Hyperia.